Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. Now we have some unfortunate battles. Yes, we have two really good games, but they both end not what these players wanted and not what they deserved. So first up we have the Object 263. So today we're going to look at tank destroyers, because next up we have the tier 9 tortoise. So first up we have Stepbro. Yes, Stepbro from the Cats clan on the Asia server. So they are going the right. Now, of course, this is the original YOLO wagon. Yes, the original YOLO wagon. When this tank was first introduced to the game, it was literally known completely as the YOLO wagon, and basically what that means is you just go forward into the enemy and you fire. You don't give a crap, because you're pretty much gonna bounce everything that comes your way. Almost not everything, but almost just about everything. But nowadays it's not really too good for YOLOing, because people know how to deal with it. The armor profile is not as strong as it once was, and it was just a very troll tank. Of course, it has very high DPM, and it can perform really well. The speed is really good. The only thing it doesn't really have is gun depression. It really suffers with the gun depression. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely still a frontline tank. It definitely is a frontline tank. You don't really play it as a tank destroyer. Now, what he's doing here is he's going back. He's going backwards. Now, they could easily push forward, knowing that there is a medium tank here. There's no light tank at the moment. The team could have actually pushed forward, but no, he decides he's going to go back to try and deal with the medium tank, the Progetto 65. And you can see the Progetto is getting scared and he is running away. So yeah, I mean, that was a good spot, but honestly he could have stayed where he was and just pushed the team. The whole team could have pushed the red team, but he's just flanked around the whole map. And this is the best thing about this this tank with the speed. I mean, he's got around this map pretty quickly, and he's not yet to lose too many hit points, and he has bounced over 900, almost 1,000 damage at the moment. But yeah, I mean, this is what I mean. The armor now is not as it once was. Back in the day, this Progetto would struggle to penetrate this guy, but of course, as he has left, his team are disappearing. But now, with the DPM that this tank has got, he's now able to take care of the Progetto and get behind the enemy team. So it is a 3 versus 5, so it is going to be difficult, but look at this. He's got free range of all of these tanks from behind. As long as these two, the Heavy and the Death Star, can stay alive for just a little bit longer, he can farm up this damage. But already he has lost a lot of hit points, so you've got to bear that in mind. And now the Kranvagen has noticed and he has turned around. So there goes the IS-7. He's now a one-shot, so it's him and a Death Star against, yeah, 5 tanks, so it's not looking good at all. But there is still a couple of tanks that is a one-shot. There goes the Sheridan. The Mark 6 over there is a one-shot. The Jagdtiger is a one-shot, so it's already not looking good. Unless this Death Star can clear one of these big tanks, these heavy tanks, it's not going to look too good for them. But the Kranvagen is now going to take care of that Death Star. So it's now a 1 versus 3. He gets yet again another bounce, so that is 1,450 blocks damage. He's up to 5.7k damage, but he still needs to block a few more shots if he's gonna pull this victory out. Now, I believe the Kranvagen is he was on a reload, and he gets a beautiful high roll to bring it now down to a 1 versus 2. Now, we know that the Jagdtiger is a one-shot if he's able to sort of at least average roll, but the E100 still has quite a bit of hit points left to go. As you can see there, almost 2,000 hit points. So it's going to be difficult, and he's going to have to bounce quite a few shots if he wants to pull this off. So 7.2k damage now. He does get that bounce from the E100, and again, with the DPM of this thing, he can get a few shots in on that E100. So if he can get another bounce on this E100 from the E100, he should be able to clear this guy very easily, and he does just that. As long as he keeps himself away from this Jagdtiger, he can actually now pull this victory off. But 8.5k damage, and unfortunately just couldn't get around that corner. But very he put up a good fight. He put up a really good fight there. Let me just get rid of my keys. So yeah, 8,500 damage. He manages to block almost 3,000 damage, and he got that very close to the victory. But very well played step bro. Next up we have Mattea from Sparta Clan on the EU server. So the Tortoise, obviously the Tortoise is a good tank. It's a hit and miss tank. It's got a beautiful gun, but for me the armor profile just doesn't work. The armor profile, it got buffed, but I just think it needs to be buffed just a little bit more. But you can't take away the fact that the gun on this tank is absolutely beautiful. Now this one, if that one wasn't a bad enough heartbreak, this one really is a heartbreak and a half. So of course it is a tier 8 battle. This tank in tier 8 is much better because you are able to get the more bounces than you would in tier 10. But let's just see our guy here, Mattea, can get on. So they are pushing towards the left side. Well, some tanks are pushing towards the left side, some are pushing sort of to the right side, and he doesn't know what to do at the minute. So he's just going to pull in the middle here and then see where the enemy goes and see where the rest of his team goes. But as you can see, the enemy are already pushing towards the left side, so, and they are also pushing towards the right side. So he's going to ignore the T95 there and go towards these heavy tanks. Could be a good choice because of course the T95 is a tier 9 and these heavy tanks don't have DPM. So this tank does have DPM, so he should be able to clear some of these heavy tanks with the help of his team. So he is pushing towards the middle here, but as he's pushing towards the middle, more and more heavy tanks come alive. Well, come spotted, sorry. So you got the Tiger there, you got the IS-3 here. They need to focus on the same target. So I do like what he's doing here. He's sticking with the E75, and with him and the E75 together, they should be able to clear this IS-3 very quickly. That is as long as someone stops shooting HE at this guy. So you can just see the DPM on this thing. I mean, almost 4k DPM, which is crazy, and that is even more than 4k if you include the Hesh, of course. The Hesh, it is a British tank and it can do a lot of damage with this Hesh. So there goes the IS-3. There is the J Panther 2 that is already dead on his team. So it is a 6 versus 5. So now he's just he's got a bit of bounces so far, which is good, and you can see that the T95 has now gone from that side of the map. Now give the enemy a chance, they will be able to pen you. It's in tier 8, some might have to switch to the premium round, but I mean the hatch is quite easily pennable, and your sides, your cheeks are quite easily pennable as well. So it's not looking too good for his team at the moment. Here comes this Waffle, and again he gets some beautiful bounces there. 2,000 blocked damage so far. He's up to 4k, but he now finds himself on his own against these 3 tanks here, the E75, the Waffle, and the heavy tank, which is the Tiger 2 there. So it's hard to focus all on one tank because there's just so many tanks around. Of course the E75 would be the best tank, the best option, because he is lower hit points and he's the one that is just poking out all the time. But of course the Waffle is also a very dangerous target. So there goes the KV4. So it is now a well, there goes the Tiger. So it is now a 2 versus 5, and I'm surprised he's actually stayed alive for this long already. He is now, however, down to a 1-shot. So 5,100 damage done, 2,700 blocked, and he's a 1-shot to these guys. Here comes the Waffle. Stupidly, the Waffle is firing HE, but I do get why the Waffle was firing HE. I mean, look at the E75. Tortoise, you fat, whatever he wants to say, and he is carrying on blocking these damage, these shots at him. So there goes the Tiger 2 to bring it now down to a 1 versus 3, and again all the Waffle has to do is fire HE, but he misses his shot because of that track shot. Don't you just love it when that happens with you, where you shoot someone's tracks, they turn and then they fire, especially when you're in a tank like the Tortoise that has fantastic DPM. 7,000 damage now. He needs to block one more shot, I believe, from the T69. And is he going to do that? Of course he does that. He is now able to take care of the T69 to bring it down to a 1 versus 1. And again, he gets a bounce from the enemy Tortoise. He needs to hide his hatch here. He has to hide his hatch. He's now on 8,300 damage. He does get the bounce, but I believe the Tortoise on the enemy team has a stock gun, so he has a better reload. 32 hit points versus 30 hit points. Who's going to come off? Unfortunately, oh, what a heartbreak. What an absolute heartbreak. How even did he get to that stage? I don't know, but what a battle that was. 8,700 damage. He manages to block 4,000 damage himself. He kills 5 tanks, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough. But that can totally deserve that win there. Absolutely amazing game, but he just couldn't finish it off. But well played there, Mateo. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. With